Alright, we're here with Nicholas. We're checking out Yatagarasu, which is an all-new hardcore 2D fighting game. And why don't you go over and explain a little bit exactly what it is and why a fighting game community should be excited about this game.
Sure. My name is Tyrone Rodriguez, and I'm with Nicholas. I'm the producer on Yatagarasu. And what we've done is we are working with the original developer, Circle Edge, who they have a pretty big pedigree. They work for a little company called SNK. They took off and they started their own group to make this fighting game. They worked on KOF, I believe it was 99 to 2002, which are basically the good ones.
Yes, they were.
And they went along to make something that looks along the lines of an SNK game, but is heavily inspired by something like Third Strike that has a parry system. It's got a good combo system, cancel system, block breaker, overheads, throws, etc. And 8 characters, 1 secret boss, and we're bringing it to 3DS eShop.
All right, now originally the game was a PC title in Japan. Has there been any discussion about possibly bringing that version over to Steamworks or anything else at this point?
So if any fans know, our background is we work with other developers and we collaborate and really come up with good ways to make their games grow. We work with Cave Story, we work with VVVV, Night Sky, we work with 1001 Spikes, and we usually, actually typically listen to the players. We released Cave Story on the Wii, initially through WiiWare, and we kept hearing, we want it on Steam, we want it on Steam, we want it on Steam. We talked to Valve and they wanted it, and we made it happen. So if we get a similar feeling from players and they say, oh, we really want it on Steam, well, hopefully we can make it happen. So I talk to Circle Edge, talk to Valve, and see if we can get it on there.
Alright, so this game has a training and a replay mode, as I understand it.
Right.
What is your thoughts on online gameplay right now?
So online gameplay for the 3DS right now, we are definitely going to support local wireless play. My concern as a big fighting game guy, I grew up going to Southern Hills Golf and watching a lot of the tournament players play. You have that instant no frame lag, and that's what you really need to make online fighting fun. You really don't want to have the sense of lag or that you lost because of lag. So if we're not able to make a solid online experience for whatever reason, we're not going to do it, but we are right now researching the possibility and seeing how well we can make an online component. However, as of right now, I'm not promising anything. Right now, you're going to get a solid offline local experience, a really good fighting game that you can kind of take with you wherever you go. And if we can make it happen, great. If we can't, then we're going to be honest with the player. We're going to give you a good experience offline. If we can't emulate that experience with an online network play, we're not going to do it because it doesn't make us look good, it doesn't make Circle Edge look good, or Nintendo, and it pisses off the player, and that's the last thing we want.
Exactly. So, how many characters are in the game, and can you describe what kind of style of fighting types the characters are?
Sure. There's 8 selectable characters, and it's got the typical archetypes that you'd see in like a Street Fighter, where you have the Shotokan characters, Uppercut, Fireball, Dragon Punch, Hurricane Kick. You've got a Dudley style character where you can do chain combos and juggle. You've got sort of a Fei Long style character, Zangief Grappler character, a Chun-Li-esque character with similar conventions where she really doesn't do a lot of projectiles. She uses mostly her feet. So if you play Street Fighter, if you played a lot of the recent fighting games in the last, I don't know, 10 years, you're probably going to be able to jump right in. It's a 4-button game, so it works great on the 3DS. You've got 2 strike attacks, a light and a hard, and 2 kick buttons, a light and a hard, and then the parries are buttons this time instead of pushing up forward or down.
Alright, so 4-button fighter, but with also high parry and low parry buttons.
Right, right. And what that does, which a lot of people don't realize until they sort of sit down and think about it, is when you have a parry system that requires you to push down, tap down or tap forward, it breaks charge characters like a Guile or a Remy specifically. Yeah. But in this case, if you're charging down and you push the parry button, you can still get that parry going without losing your charge, which is very important to maintaining a character's ability to stay up in the ranks.
Yeah, that's actually pretty smart. Now, one thing I played through the game, and I played through as a Shino, and I had a really good time with it. One thing I was really impressed with is the way that combos and linking specials and supers together felt really natural. Can you describe maybe a little bit about how that works, a bit like the in-depth fighting mechanics of it?
First, I have to preface it by saying Umezono-san, who is the lead designer on this game, and he was a designer at SNK, he's a huge fighting game fan. Anyone who's in the community has probably heard of him as a Third Strike player. So he loves Third Strike. He's designed fighting games in the past, so he's got the knowledge and understanding of making it. They have a great designing tool where you can basically basically tune everything from the collision box to the size of the collision boxes, how many collision boxes, the animation frames, the speed and everything. So he's sat down in there in this tool that they've made, and he's tuned everything to the point where he's really happy, and it makes everything feel very deliberate when you're doing combo and you're canceling from a special move into a super and then juggling. It doesn't feel accidental. It's like he sat down 4 years, which they spent 4 years making this game, sat down and really decided what works, what doesn't work, and is it perfect.
Excellent. So what can you tell me a little bit about the commentary system? I know there's like an optional sort of announcers or commentary people that are in the game.
Yeah, this has caught I think the fighting game community by surprise, because this is really the first game that I can think of that has sort of a live commentary that emulates the arcade experience, where if you recall like the Daigo moment where he did an amazing parry with Chun-Li and Ken, you heard the crowd going crazy, and you still heard people talking throughout, and you see it at tournaments, but you also see it at regular arcades. You have Takedo KSK and Kokujin, who are very well-known players in the fighting game community, saying things while you're playing, like, oh, you dash back, or oh, that was a good combo, oh, not so good, etc. And it's as I said, a very unique element, because it makes it feel like somebody's constantly watching it. And it is optional, so you can turn it on and off. For the North American, European release, we are considering localizing it so that we'll also include, not replace, but also include additionally American players to commentate on it. But that's pending auditions and seeing who the best guy out there is, or even girl out there is, to really supply that commentary and get their photo and face in the game to be ultimately legendary.
All right, so it all sounds pretty good. Now this game is coming out what point in time, do we know?
Right now we're trying to target 2012 for the 3DS eShop, pending, again, certain other factors like making sure the multiplayer is perfect. That could extend the development cycle, but we really would like to get it out for Christmas, because we feel that it's sort of the perfect type of game that once more people have a 3DS, you can kind of play together and just jam on it.
Exactly. So, everything looks good about it so far. It's going to be a perfect companion piece. If you're a Third Strike player, this is probably a game you definitely want to look into, I would say. And hopefully this year, but this is also, want to make sure it's based on the latest build.
Correct. So before this year, they were up to 4.1, which didn't include a boss, some tuning, didn't include story elements, and the version that will appear on eShop is 4.2, which includes a new secret boss, additional background that's been returned, as well as some additional characteristics and tuning, and the 3DS version will also include 3D layering. So we're going to spend a lot of time making sure the game really pops out.
Sounds good. So it sounds like 3DS is going to have its first real exclusive hardcore 2D fighting action.
Yeah, it's going to be, and you won't be paying full price because it's not a cartridge. It's going to be on the eShop, so it'll be a price somewhere along the lines of $10 to $12.
Direct download, wave of the future.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you for your time.
Thanks a lot.
We're looking forward to this a lot. I had a lot of fun with it, and I know an online warrior and all his fans will have a lot of fun playing it too. So thank you for your time, and hope to hear more from it soon.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.